It's always a good way to start a podcast.
The Hangout Air on Air is live. So we're live.
We'll put that in quotation marks.
Live. So, hello and welcome to Famicast 84. You're live. Famicast for July 2016. I'm your host, Danny Bivens, and today I'm joined by James Charlton.
I have 33% ownership of this podcast, Danny, just so you know.
Well, now we know. And also joined by Mr. Ty Sugar.
Spaghetti.
Ty is a connoisseur, as it were.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
well, he can open a can.
Nothing
That's
wrong
not
with that.
crazy here.
Okay, good point. Unfortunately, Cyrus could not make it today. He's, on vacation or whatever. Yeah, who needs one of those?
Right.
But we're here. We're here. And we're gonna give you hopefully a pretty awesome Famicast. Lots of games to talk about. Actually, a lot of news as well. So, yeah.
Boy.
Lots and lots
of shit goes down when you don't have a podcast for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It builds up, doesn't it?
Exactly. The time we decide to kind of record a little bit on the early side, this type of stuff happens always, without fail. So, all right, let's go ahead and start with new business. And James, how about you go ahead and kick us off, man?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Well, I've got, so many games. I mean, I got lots of games. I didn't play all of them for very long, but I did the best that I could. The little time that I had.
Not everyone's Ty, so I mean, Ty can play everything all the time.
Man, I just bought some games I'd never heard of.
I probably played the same amount of games that Ty played, but like just a lot shorter time.
Sure.
Ty's like, I put a couple of hours in here, a couple of hours in there. I'm like, okay, I put a couple of minutes in here, a couple of minutes in there. So I don't know which order to tackle this actually. Well, I just thought we'd briefly talk about the Metroid Blast Ball. I don't even know what you would call that. I mean, I guess this is kind of news/new business because it kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it? It was like,
right.
Well, first of all, Nintendo talked about the game for the first time in 4 months.
Right.
We're like, oh yeah, that game's coming out in like a few weeks. They've been really putting it on the down low for so long. I mean, E3 they didn't even mention it, did they?
I don't think so. Yeah.
They did. If you ever seen that movie Up, Doug the dog. It's just like squirrel. It's like look over there. It's like they're trying to misdirect you. So yeah, it came out just out of nowhere. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, Blast Ball is free to download, like the standalone football/soccer game. Although I guess these days you could actually compare it more to that PS4. Well, I think it's on Xbox as well now. What is it called? The
Rocket League.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess it's more like Rocket League with Metroid.
The idea is definitely for sure.
Yeah. Although, did it come out? No, because Rocket League had like a first game that came out years ago, right? So.
Right.
But anyway. So I downloaded this thing, and I guess it's kind of like a training thing. You can only play the Blast Ball game. You can't play the Federation Force, single player. It's completely it's almost like a separate. Oh, it is a separate game.
Right.
They're treating it like a completely separate thing. But you can do quite a few things with it. I mean, you can play against an AI bot, and Danny tells me you can actually play it online, even though I didn't see any option to do that when I was playing it.
I played it once this afternoon. I can neither confirm nor deny that. So.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was playing it it's in English. That's kind of interesting.
Wow.
It's got full English. Oh, was I playing it in English? Well, anyway, it has English voice support. But I mean, sorry, don't get your hopes up. I don't mean voice chat. I mean the character voices can be changed to English, French, German, Japanese, anything. Yeah, now I think about it, I was playing it in Japanese. The text is in Japanese, but yeah, you can change your characters' voices to English. So it was kind of interesting because you had like the taunts or the kind of the commands that you can set to the D-pad. So it was saying, like Otskare, it had Otskare written as the text, but then when I pressed it, it said, "Good job, guys," or something like that, which is the equivalent in English. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. I mean, yes, it does kind of play like Metroid, I guess, but it's just like how you're playing it, like the situation you put in is just so far removed from Metroid Prime that I don't even think of it as a Metroid game. It's like, well, this could be anything, I guess, which is the thought I've had all along with this game.
Right.
But it's got the charge beam, and you can charge it for even longer, and you get like a super powerful blast to shoot the ball into the goal, and the goal gets smaller with each goal that you score.
Right. I guess with the visuals and stuff like that, that was kind of explained where because it's on a portable system, they wanted it to be not quite as like realistic. Yeah. Right. Well, not as quite as realistic proportions, because that might be a little bit harder to hit on like a screen that's like so small with like a target that's like even smaller.
So it's like a massive ball, and all the characters are chunky.
Yeah. I mean that's what they're saying.
They're all these like bobble-headed guys that they kind of jump into the mech before you start. I noticed that they had you can actually customize the color of the mech suit, and they had like an amiibo option.
Yes.
And I gave that a shot, and I put a few amiibo on. Like most of the ones I tried came up with just a standard like skull and crossbones type thing. Right. But like I put the Mario one, and it changed to like a Mario themed mech. Like the top part of the glass part of the mech turned red with like I'm not sure if it had an M on it or something like that. But I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, even in this demo thing, it's got like amiibo support. So I'm not sure if that is the full version of Blast Ball, or there'll be more.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that too, because even on like Nintendo Japan, NCL's release list page, they have it listed as like a separate game, like away from Metroid.
Right. The icon is different; it's different color, isn't it? Like,
right.
I mean, at first I thought it was something like Triforce Heroes. Is that what it's called?
Right.
Triforce? Yeah, it's called Triforce Heroes. We played that. When that was more like a beta test, wasn't it? Like
right.
You could actually play it offline and online for free. You could play it online only in certain times, right? The beta times. Right. But you could play it offline as whenever you wanted, which I thought was kind of unusual.
By the way, James, so I'm looking at the game right now, and yeah, there is online play with it. Single player, local play, download play, and online play that you can access.
You're looking at the demo thing?
Yeah, looking at it right now.
There we go. Confirmed. Well, yeah, as you can probably tell, listeners, from our conversation, we haven't played together yet.
Nope.
But we'll get on that sometime soon. I'm sure people have already done it by now. I initially thought it wasn't on the Japan eShop because, Americans and Europeans on Twitter were saying, they were playing it. And I looked on it, and I looked on the front page of the eShop in Japan. There was nothing there. I was like, oh, well, they're probably just skipping Japan. But actually, no, it was there. It was way to the right, because Yokai Watch 3 has just come out.
Yes.
It was like Yokai Watch 3, Shovel Knight, something. And then way to the right, the brand new game that's just come out, way to the right, which is unusual, Metroid. And you could pre-order the full game if you wanted.
Hey, I mean, it's a good assumption. I mean, you just assume anything Metroid is not going to be,
Yeah. I just checked it. I was like, yeah, fuck it, it's not on. And I just turned off the system. and then I think I actually asked Dan. I said, like, Dan, so is it skipping the Japan eShop? And he's like, no, it's on now. And I was like, really? I just checked it and it wasn't on there. And I was like, okay, they're just hiding it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know when it was, like a year ago, I said that this game wouldn't come out in Japan. And I don't know, they're proving me wrong by releasing it. But, in essence, I'm kind of right because it's just going to be just farted out, isn't it? It's like... No one's going to even know it's out.
But, I mean, at least they took the time to localize it for Japan,
Well, yeah, they changed the menus to katakana English. It's pretty bare bones by the looks of it.
There's a couple kanji in there, here and there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Derek, what's the kanji for menu? There isn't. So, yeah, that was a good 15 to 20 minutes I played that. I guess we're going to talk about Pokemon Go altogether a little bit later. And I guess overlaps with news as well. I guess the next game I want to talk about is Citizens of Earth. I did actually talk about that briefly when I talked about, about 15 indie games that I'd played for, 5 minutes each. So this was one of the games, I played for the first 5 minutes, but this time I put more, put a couple of hours into it. Yeah, It's really interesting, actually. Like, I mean, I don't play RPGs. I mean, you never hear me talk about RPGs on this podcast because it just doesn't fit my lifestyle. And
Well, they never came to Europe to like shape your childhood to like them anyway. So
yeah. It is a bit of Stockholm syndrome, I guess, with the SNES RPGs, or reverse Stockholm syndrome. I don't know what it is.
whatever.
Some kind of syndrome.
Yep.
That's scarred me for life, to never wanting to play Chrono Trigger, even though I really was looking forward to it back in the day. So what was I talking about? Citizens of Earth, right? So it really reminds me of, talking of RPGs that never came out, Earthbound. From the visual element, you wouldn't really think of that. Okay, look, it's very it's got that kind of flash, animated look to it. But like when you play it, you're like, oh yeah, this is Earthbound. this is so is Earthbound. Like there's this, it seems strange to say realistic, but it's a modern setting. You don't really see many modern setting RPGs, right? These kind of traditional JRPGs, but as in a modern setting, right? Because JRPGs tend to be gothic or whatever, medieval looking type things, right? So that's why Earthbound was unique at the time, and probably even now. Actually, Ty, this is probably a good time to jump in and tell me about Undertale. Is that what kind of setting is that?
It's it's very Earthbound-ish. It's like an underground world of monsters, but they're all they're very cartoonish and likable.
But it's not like full-on high fantasy, right? It's
No.
Okay, right. So I guess this is more. Yeah, this is more like Earthbound in that it's a realistic world, even though you're playing a guy who is vice president of the world, who looks surprisingly like Donald Trump. Now I think about it.
I'm looking at a video of it right now. It looks like Earthbound with a Western art style.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can't think of any other games that look like this. I mean, you've got you go into people's houses and you talk to people, but the difference is that you're recruiting them onto your team, and it doesn't stop. Like usually with RPGs, it stops at 3-4 people on your team, right? That you can
I think that the main character here looks like a ginger Mitt Romney.
Okay. But he's got the kind of like self-aggrandizing attitude of like DT,
right?
He's like,
or Mittens. I would say
he doesn't actually fight in the battles himself. It's kind of funny. He's the one like walking around, like you actually control him and the people are following you behind. But when you actually go into a battle and it goes to the kind of the battle screen like Earthbound, he goes to the side and he goes like, "Go get him, guys," and they all do all the fighting. And I'll just remind you, one of the people that fights for you is your mother.
Yeah.
So you've got your elderly mother, your brother, and then just people like the local baker, or a teacher.
I'm looking at an enemy right now called Honey Bear.
Honey Bear,
like a bear-shaped squeeze tube full of honey. Pretty amazing.
Well, the first people you fight are protesters, because like the people are protesting, the vice president being in the town or whatever. So you're fighting all these identical-looking protesters.
Nice, and you beat up protesters.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. How topical.
You can see the similarities, right? It was kind of. I wasn't doing this on purpose, Like I wasn't like, looking at like what's going on in the actual world and then saying let's play a game that replicates that. I wasn't doing that at all. It's just coincidental. But like in Earthbound, don't you find hippies and things like that, right?
Oh yeah.
You find like weird things like people, stereotypes of people. So you've got like like I said, protesters and like hecklers. I think heckler is another one. Like there's a female heckler who just like shouts things at you. And there's a lot of voice acting. I was really impressed. I mean, for an indie game, this is like fully voiced. I mean, everything. Like every single character has their own unique voice. everyone you talk to speaks every single line that they say in the text. Like everything, I was like really impressed. Everything you read, like if you read a book or read a sign on something, he'll read it out loud, you know. So I guess, you know, for people who can't read or whatever, kids or whatever, you know, it would be perfect for them, even though the general, you know, topic of the game might go over their head. But like, yeah, I think way back when I first briefly talked about it, I said, you know, it's like, you know, like an RPG mixed with Pikmin or something, because you're just adding all these people to your team. And now I've got like maybe 6 or 7 people on my team. It is starting to feel like that. Like the people are just like trailing behind you. You don't. So far, I haven't had to replace anyone. I haven't had to say, okay, you wait here while, you know, us 8 go on or whatever. But I have reached a school where you can actually put people in a chair and say stay here. So I'm assuming that at some point you reach a limit and you have to put people in the school to wait or something like that. But it's kind of interesting. And everyone has their own, you know, unique attacks. Like I was saying before, like your mum has like scold and like nag and things like that. It's like, you know, she just shouts things at the, you know, the protesters and then reduces their defense level or some things like that. And then your brother, who's like a UPS worker. They don't say UPS in the game. They've got an acronym or whatever. But like he'll come in and like just punch them to death, you know.
Just like the UPS.
Yeah, exactly. Just like your regular UPS guy. So yeah, it is funny. It does have a lot of humor to it. Like just like how cocky the main guy is. It's just kind of funny. It is kind of. And I guess like to recruit people, you can't just say, "Hey, join me." You know, you do have to do things. You have to like, you know, collect things or defeat a certain amount of things for them to be impressed to join your team, or like solve certain mysteries and stuff like that. Like there's a guy at the cafe who's like, it's called Moonbucks Cafe, and this guy's gone like missing and he's gone a bit mental, and you have to like find him or something. I haven't solved that yet, but if I find him, he'll join my team. It's like I think I've just got a conspiracy theorist on my team. You know? So just so you know, that's the kind of thing you're looking at. But yeah, I am enjoying it, and you know, you can save anywhere. It's constantly saving. Anytime you go in a house, you save. You know, so you don't have to worry about, you know, oh, I have to get to a save point before I can quit this damn game. You can just quit anytime. You know, you're fine. Although I would say the loading is a little bit long for my liking. You know, because considering it's a digital game, you know, like I guess it's unpacking something, like it does have a loading bar, which is like, I don't know, 10-15 seconds, which doesn't sound long, but like if you're going in and out of houses a lot, it does add up and it gets a bit annoying. But you know, it's not annoying enough to make me stop playing the game yet. Be interested to know how long this game is. I don't know how much more time I have to put into it, but yeah. Anyway, I'm enjoying it so far. So are we gonna share talking about Pokemon Go?
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, baby.
So I'm actually the only guy who doesn't have a smartphone. I've been playing on an iPod Touch, so I'm limited to. Yeah, I'm a loser. I'm limited to. Well, I'm basically Wi-Fi. You know, have to be linked to Wi-Fi wherever. I'm like, like a string, like a puppet on a string. So basically, I've only played it in my house or garden, Starbucks, McDonald's, or where I work. You know, that's basically the 4 places I played it. I tweeted out a picture of Clint Eastwood in his front lawn from Gran
Torino.
Gran Torino. It's basically me. It's like, you know, rat-a-tat in my garden. So that's basically it.
Kids, get off my server.
Yeah. Damn kid. Yeah. Did I catch 3 rattatas or 4?
And you know, I guess
many.
I guess for people out there that don't know, and I think most people do by now, but you know, so Pokemon Go has obviously been a thing in the West for a couple of weeks now, but it just came out in Japan this past Friday. Right now it's Monday, July 25th. It just came out the previous Friday. So I mean,
where were you when the servers went live?
Yeah, it was a really strange thing because like all last week, well, like I think before Wednesday, which is when Nintendo typically releases their digital games, there were rumors and leaks and stuff like, oh man, and the Pokemon Company is going to be releasing the game, or Niantic I guess is going to be releasing the game on the Japanese App Store and on Google Play and whatever, but then it didn't happen and there was like a bunch of other crap that kind of went wrong. It's supposed to be some kind of like a leaked McDonald's email.
which turned out to be true because the reason
Yeah.
it was delayed because they had this deal with McDonald's, right? Well, at least that's what they say anyway.
Right. So I mean, yeah, I mean, McDonald's is like what the first official sponsor of the game, at least here in
Yeah,
Japan.
I was actually at one today. I mean, I don't go into McDonald's because fun fact, Japan McDonald's don't do veggie burgers. Yay! So
Yeah,
I
they
was
even
just
have.
I was just stood outside of it, hacking into their free Wi-Fi. I didn't know McDonald's had free Wi-Fi. So there you go, they do.
Hmm.
Yeah, you just need to, you can log in with your Twitter or Facebook or whatever. You can do free Wi-Fi. Same as Starbucks. Same as the way Starbucks works.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, I only actually today I only worked out how to activate Pokestops. Well, yeah, I didn't know you had to kind of spin the token around to get stuff out.
Right, and I guess that's one thing we could kind of just get into because I mean, I haven't really been paying a lot of close attention, other than the fact that it's huge and people were, excuse me, going crazy about it, over in the West.
That's true. That's a
And
good way to put it.
yeah, and I I just this past weekend, me and my wife took a trip down to the beach in Kanagawa Prefecture, Miura Beach, really fun. And I'm convinced that the best way to do the Pokemon Go thing is to be on a train because you're going, kind of fast, but still.
Can you actually catch anything?
You can catch stuff, and you can also hit the Pokemon stops while
As you
you're on the
fly by.
train if you time it just right.
Pokestop. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was pretty like the same way, man. Like whenever I first saw like a Pokestop, I was like, okay, I see it. Now what? And then I was looking because there were so many people playing the game like on the train, and I saw this girl in front of me like just spinning around, the little thing. So I tried it, and I was like, oh, cool. Okay, that's what you do. So
The balls came out.
yeah,
Wow.
So you got your balls out on the train in front of a little girl, right?
got my balls out on the train in front of a little girl, and then I
Yeah.
threw them on her head. So
There you go.
Yeah.
I told you that's why you got arrested in the US, and that's why I'll get arrested here.
don't like to talk about it. It's a very hard.
But it was funny. It was funny seeing it take over the whole world while us guys in Japan are like, hello.
yeah.
And my students were talking about this like the whole week. They knew what was going on. I mean, I had the application downloaded because I've got multiple iTunes accounts.
Right.
But I believe if you're an Android user, you have to use a VPN to get around the IPs. I think the store is locked by IP. Is that right, Ty?
I don't know. I haven't downloaded it. Well,
Okay.
now that you mention it, I've never had any issues getting anything off the U.S. App Store. It
All right,
probably
okay.
just depends on your Google account.
Okay. Is it on that? Okay. I heard it was like it's based on your location. But anyway, I showed my students I had the application, but obviously we loaded it up and it's it was just a blank canvas. The whole world was blank.
Right.
Nothing going on.
Right.
So and then it all
I
just
heard there were a couple of
went crazy.
server tests they did where if you were like on like the exact minute where they were
Oh
firing
right.
up the servers for a test, you could
For 10 minutes. Yeah.
maybe catch a Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah. I heard about that. So basically, this whole weekend, this is the first time when you've seen people out and about in Japan playing it, and yeah, holy shit, they were out and about. I mean, everywhere I went. I mean, it's funny, like seeing what was going on in America. People like jumping people, like setting lures, and then like holding them up by gunpoint and things like that. All these dead bodies being found and all these things. There was this point when I was like, okay, Pokemon Go, this is the cause of all life's problems right now. But now I think it's could actually be the cure to all life's problems as well. Because I've seen things like families hanging out, like dads hanging out with their sons, mums and daughters walking around together playing it. So maybe it's like alcohol. It's the cause of and solution to all life's problems.
I agree.
With alcohol or Pokemon Go?
Yes.
In Japan, you can drink in public.
While playing Pokemon Go.
Absolutely.
With your children. There you go. Boom.
So I've seen some like heartwarming things, like I said, couples and mothers, daughters, playing together. But then there's a few of the kind of sad things. Like I took a picture of it as well. It was on my Twitter. Like there was this like kind of oldish, parents like with their son who's maybe like elementary age, like maybe 12 years old, and they were walking around the park. I was in the park with my son, not playing Pokemon Go, actually playing with a physical thing called a ball. With real life ball, and I saw this couple walking around, and the son was like trailing behind them. He wasn't actually interested in Pokemon. He actually had a real ball, and he was like asking his dad, "Dad, can we play like baseball?" And he was like, "Yeah. Just a minute. I'm just like trying to find some Pokemon here in the park." And I was like, "That kind of sucks."
Yeah.
What an asshole. Yeah. And at one point, he kind of like casually flung the ball away. It's like, "Yeah, go get it." It's like, come on, man. What an asshole. Yeah, Father of the Year. Yeah. Exactly.
So Ty, you said that you had. I mean, you don't have the application itself, but you got to spend some time with it in an offhand type of a way or something.
Right. Yeah. Like, so I was in I was in a town, a couple towns over, on business with a whole lot of other English teachers, foreign English teachers. And we were talking about Pokemon Go, and the servers came up like right before our lunch break. So like people were running around immediately. Like I didn't know what was going on. I was just eating lunch.
What's going on here?
One of my coworkers like bursts in like, "It's happening."
Pokemon is happening.
Yeah, it's like Stephen King. Like I look outside, like what's happening? And it's like, oh my god! And there's like just these packs of people looking at their cell phones, bumping into each other. Great.
Poké Zombie, as they're called. Poké Zombie.
Yeah, and apparently that whole first day was kind of shaky. There was like a lot of the servers getting hammered hard.
Do you get that red bar, like the no GPS signal or something? Yeah, I thought that was just because I'm on an iPod, but I guess that happens with everyone.
Dude, I mean, at one point, I was in a train station coming home from the weekend, and I was like, okay, no GPS, like maybe something screwed up. So I went into like, Google Maps and found myself, and was like, well, I don't think that's accurate because I could use GPS on like any other application, but just like bugs, there's a lot of bugs with the game. So
yeah, I got like bug types as well. Weedle.
Yeah, I got one of those.
Fucking Weedles, honestly. My house is infested with Rattatas and Pidgeys. It's like I don't want any more.
When the repel wears off.
No, you don't want repel in Pokemon Go. You want to attract them because another thing I just discovered today, because this game literally tells you nothing, like how to play the game. But like you can actually trade in, like if you have like 10 Pidgeys, you can actually trade the ones you don't want and get the candy, the Pidgey candy, which you can then use to level up. So if you choose one Pidgey, give it a different name, like Pidgey King. And then just give all the candy to him and make him level up. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But I only just discovered that today.
Process your cheap Pokemon into low-quality gruel.
There you go.
Good times.
There we go.
More testicles means more iron. Simpsons reference for anyone. But yeah, it is fun. I mean, my students are going mental for it. I mean, I knew they weren't going to do any of their homework this weekend, so actually I had to send out like a mass email to them all. It's like, okay, after you finish catching your Pokemons, do your homework because we've got this big presentation coming up. And sure enough, none of them had prepared for their presentations. And so I was like casually asked, so have you caught any Pokemon? They're like, yeah, 55. And no, too late, busted. Yeah. So, some people were even playing it in the class today, which was fun.
Great.
I wasn't. Well, I was, but...
Doesn't matter.
Well, I know Cyrus isn't here, but he said that the day it went up, there was like a school meeting. Like, they called everyone into the gym, and the principal gave a speech about, don't die playing Pokemon Go, basically.
Yeah, today...
Pokemon, when the guy goes in the ball and he goes, ah. That's oh no, that's a Bill Cosby reference. Oh, I can't do those anymore. Sorry, edit that out.
Yeah. You know, today when I went to work, I only had like a half day today. I went in and like this guy I work with, he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, so you got it?" I'm like, "Dude, of course." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I already caught like over 100 different Pokemon." I'm like, "Jesus, man!" Like my wife was getting kind of mad because I was at the beach, and she's like, "What's the reason we came here to catch Pokemon or to like have a good time at the beach?" And I was thinking, well, I mean, we are close to McDonald's. I gotta go to the Pokestop.
Sorry, who said that? You said, or the guy said that?
My wife said that to me.
You
I'm confusing everything.
So did you catch lots of water type at the beach?
Not really. I think I got a Squirtle at the beach because I think I started out with a Charizard, and I found like some more powerful type of guys out there too, but they ran away because my Pokemon.
I just beat a Squirtle to death in my front porch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not coming in my house.
Yep, I get it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Pokemon Go. I mean, finally, it's here. Yeah. So the stock prices went up and then down. Yeah. I guess that's one advantage of waiting, you know, a week or 3 weeks to do a podcast. Is that you can see the whole peak and trough in the whole. You know, you can see the whole thing going up and down.
Well, there's a plus.
Yeah. But I know it'd be interesting to see how long this lasts. I mean, we all played Miitomo for what, 2 weeks and then deleted it.
Seriously, with Miitomo, I played for about a good month and a half straight every day.
Okay. Well, you did well to do it for a month.
I mean, I just wanted my points for my my Nintendo stuff, and I mean, aside from exploring new areas and stuff, I mean, I'm kind of lazy, man. Like since I came home from going to the beach, I'm like, I'm not gonna go outside. It's not even hot today. I just don't want to go out there.
Yeah. I mean, the other kind of, solution to all life's problems, the positive side, people who have, hikikomori, people who do, shut-ins, they're going out, for the first time ever in 8 years to catch the Pokemons, which is, it's a good thing.
Yes.
But, but seriously, people with, mental, problems or depression, things like that, people are saying, this motivates me to want to go out, which is amazing. That's really, really cool. If it's a game that gets you out, then why not?
Yeah.
I mean, in a way, it is kind of like the ultimate street pass, because like street passing, it's only with a 3DS and it's, only with certain games, and, you don't always take your 3DS around with you, but, you always have your smartphone. And so this is going to be, I don't know, let's see how long this will last, but, I'm sure once the craziness wears off, we'll see a huge drop in people actually playing it, but there'll always be those people who want to get them all.
Right.
And the people who travel to Paris to get the European exclusive ones. Because apparently there are a few that are limited per,
country,
per region.
Area.
Not even per country, but per continent, I guess.
Right.
So
whatever, just spoof your GPS data.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yep. Yeah, you can do that as well. I'm sure people can do that. And there's a guy in the US who's caught all the US ones, right? Like 140.
Yeah, there was a little news thing about that. Isn't he getting a trip paid to go catch more Pokemans?
Wow.
I mean, it's mental. I mean, yeah, you're going to see people doing mental things to catch them. And then what happens when they get all of them? A big fat nothing. Well done.
Yeah.
A winner is you.
Yep, that's it. Nothing.
Wait for the update when they add the next 150.
Yep. Exactly.
What do you think they could do to extend the life of this thing? I mean, add
microtransactions.
They already have those. I mean, they talked about adding stuff like trading, Pokemon with friends.
Yeah, you gotta have trading.
I think that's a part of it. Yeah, I don't know what else they could do. Maybe regular player battles. You come across your friend and you want to battle them.
Pokemon to 99.
Yeah, I think there's a couple legendary Pokemon that aren't in the game yet or something. I'm kind of talking out of my ass for this, things I've heard from a guy. But I mean, there are some things that even with this version that they haven't fully implemented yet, so they're kind of working on that. And I don't know. I mean, I think this is something that, like a Mario Maker and a Splatoon, this is something that might come up a little bit every time, at least for a month or two.
Yeah.
Depending on our interest with it and stuff like that. I'm sure Cyrus, he's gonna. I'm interested to see what
Cyrus lives in the wasteland. He showed. I think he lives where there's like literally no Pokestops, no Pokemon, nothing.
Well, he's going on vacation out of the country right now, so he'll
He's
find.
gonna go nuts. Yeah, I'll go nuts there, and then he'll come back to nothing again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't realize just how far away from civilization Cyrus actually lives, but yeah, he really does.
Hmm.
Yeah, probably just got the initial Pokemon, and that's about it.
Yes.
I saw a screenshot of somebody who lives in Hokkaido, because Hokkaido has these really long, which is the northern island for people not in the know, of Japan, and they've got these really long roads which just go for miles with nothing, and it's just like this guy like tweeted that picture. It's like, yeah, I'm not catching any Pokemon. Japanese dude, absolutely nothing. So, yeah,
Cool.
Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Pokemon Go. Yeah, let's leave it at that for Pokemon Go today. And like I said, this might be something we come back to a little bit later on.
I'm so Cyrus wants to jump in with his Pokemons.
What now?
Cyrus will want to jump in next episode, probably.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right, well, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and move on with the next member for new business, and that would actually be me. So I've been playing quite a few things here, and kind of as with the last time as well, I've still been playing Shovel Knight just every once in a while in the evenings or something. I'll play this a little bit here and there, kind of just gradually progress through the game. And actually today I beat it.
Yay.
Finally beat it. And
good job.
Okay, man, like that last stage where you're working up to fight all of the the different knights again, that was a pretty tough stage. I think I died at least a dozen times or more on it. Just like a lot of like kind of tricky jumps and stuff like that. But I eventually made it. But
how's that boss rush for you?
It was a little bit more generous than what I was expecting, because you still get like the big turkeys after you defeat every single guy.
Yeah, it's quite generous, isn't it?
So if you started using like a lot of your magic power for like any projectile weapons or something, that sometimes you don't get anything back for that, so you're just kind of screwed if you rely on that. But
right.
Yeah,
save it for the ones that you find the trickiest.
Right, or just use them all and then just hope to God you don't die, which is kind of what I did.
Right.
But
I always feel sorry for that the miniature one, because it's just so much easier than the other ones.
Right.
The little guy, I forgot his name.
That goes into the big.
Yeah.
Knight.
Tinker, yeah, that guy. I always feel sorry for that guy.
After going through the credits and all that stuff and all of that good stuff, I finally, I don't know why I didn't do this until now, but I'm playing on a Japanese 3DS. I went into the options, and then I went into like Gingo, like language settings, and I saw that you could change everything to English. After I beat it, like literally minutes after I beat it, I saw that. I was like,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
Get some good localized dialogue.
It sounds okay. Sometimes if the stuff I couldn't read, I'd ask my wife, and she'd read it for me or something, and I'd be like, oh, okay. But it's fine. I was playing mostly for like the action stuff, kind of funny characters and stuff. But
there's a character or two in the game whose entire shtick is telling you puns.
Uh-huh.
And you get an achievement if you hear all of them. Well, read all of them.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Is it a person just sitting in a village or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was it? It was one of the frogs, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go. I was usually just going to people that gave me useful things, like, hey, you can buy this.
I wonder how they translated those puns, actually.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Maybe, because, like I said, all of the languages, not just English, every language that the game has been localized into is available in the Japanese version of the game, which I would assume maybe if you have it on Steam or something like that, it could be updated to where it has that. So that'd be something to check out, Ty.
Yeah, that's pretty much how the Xbox games work too. Like you just change your system language, and it'll automatically change all the games to that language as long as that game has it.
Right. For Shovel, like I said, for at least the 3DS version, you just go into like the options and then like language settings, and then you could change it up that way. But we're speaking of hot, free-to-play games, and I picked up. It was free, so I downloaded another one that's just taken Japan by storm. And I know you guys have probably heard about this. This is actually Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters Saikyo no Battle.
Oh, good
Right?
shit.
So Ty is all about the Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Heart of the cards, man. Blue Eyes White Dragon. What?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I have no idea how popular this is in Japan. It's probably, ugh, I don't
My
know, but
students still play Yu-Gi-Oh.
oh, really?
Yeah,
I know,
apparently.
yeah, the anime comes on TV still like once a week or every day. I really don't know, but I never was into Yu-Gi-Oh. I never played the cards. I never really dug the anime. I never played any of the games, but I just figured, hey, this is free. This is a very Japanese thing, and I've had semi good luck with 3DS free-to-play games. The initial D game that I loved so much. I was actually going through and rereading my review on the game, which I did like 2 years ago, and I gave it like a 7.5. I mean, it was fun, just as like a shift simulator by pressing like the shoulder buttons.
Weird.
But it just got to the point where if you probably don't spend money, you just can't get anywhere. But at any rate, I haven't got that deep into this Yu-Gi-Oh game, but I'll tell you a little bit about what it is. It's probably not too hard to imagine this, but so it's like I said, it's free to play. It's on 3DS here in Japan. As of right now, it's Japan only. Basically, it teaches you how to play the card game in this game. You have like an avatar that it must just be like a default one from like the anime now. This kid with like this, I think it's like red hair with like gold bangs. I don't know, man. Things seem to have gotten really weird. But yes, I mean, when you first start up this demo, there's like a lot of like good voice act. Well, good. There's a lot of voice acting in the game. They're kind of like talking at you with just like a bunch of weird stuff, like, "Hey, I'm summoning this monster," and you're like, "All right, cool, dude." But I played it today probably for about an hour and a half, and that was just tutorial stuff, and I'm not even done yet.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Curious.
but yeah. So this is like a full kind of like a 3D world. There are like 3D models, one for like your character. The 3D models for the monsters that come out and stuff like that. And there's also like art from the cards. Maybe it's actually from the actual card sets and stuff that like I said, kind of spring to life on the top screen in 3D and whatnot. And I played like Magic the Gathering before, so I kind of have an idea how to play some card games like this. But there's just a lot of like terminology and stuff, and just stuff in Japanese that I don't know, so I had to kind of like look up like whatever the word was for summon, and what they use for like attack, and like
I'm
yeah.
kind of curious. I don't know if you're far enough to have a handle on this, but I'm curious about how do you get more cards? How do you add them to your deck or your collection?
At least in the tutorial mode, like after you go through like one set of tutorial, like for example, one was just basically setting up your cards and then attacking. Because what you want to do is you put out your cards. You can have them either on offense or defense, and the other guys are doing like the same type of a thing. And if there are cards on the field, you want to basically get rid of those, so then you can do direct damage to the player. And each player typically starts out with 4,000 LP or life points. And attacks could range anywhere from like 300 to like 15 or 1,700. So you just kind of gradually chipping away at all these guys. But after I think the very first tutorial thing where I learned just this very basic thing, like the lady said something like, "Okay, now go mess around in this courtyard where there are a bunch of people that you can talk to, and like this one punk kid that you can just go up and fight." So I just went up and talked to him and fought him, and I whooped his ass, and got to another deck of cards when I went back and talked to the lady. So that's what it's like, at least at this part. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's like something more egregious where, since it is free to play,
Yeah, like that's what I'm worried about. I'll tell you, I actually reviewed a Yu-Gi-Oh game for Game Boy Advance years and years ago. It's on the site. And
do you remember the title?
I'd remember it if I heard it.
Okay.
I'll probably click for me in a minute. But anyway, this is like still the umpteenth Yu-Gi-Oh game, And Konami had been getting guff because all their Yu-Gi-Oh games up until this one had been super easy. So they decided to make this one super, super grindy. Like, you're not going to progress until, like, you go home and you, like, play a million fucking practice games with your grandpa or whatever. And, like, you know, you get a trickle of cards, and you have to do that a lot so you don't get fucking steamrolled by, you know, any named character from the anime.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's the direction they're going to take, you know, free to play. You better start grinding or get in on those microtransactions, dog.
Yeah, and like I said, right now, since it's still like tutorial level stuff, I am facing kind of like, I think characters from the TV show, or either that or the characters I made up just for this game. And I mean, like I said, since it's the tutorial stuff, you just, you know, they might do a little bit of damage to you, but you're still coming out on top. But, you know, in terms of like presentation and stuff like that, it's all put together pretty. It's pretty easy to get a grasp of like how to do all this stuff. On the bottom screen, there's like a half circle of like buttons that you can press, like one for putting out your cards. There's other like elements where you can put like trap cards out as well, and then crud. There was another thing as well. Yeah, maybe magic or something like that. I don't remember, but I mean, it's fine. Like, you know, technically, it's a pretty competent game. The control stuff, I think that stuff all works well. But I mean, my God, they need to just kind of tone it down on the tutorial. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff to go over, but I could just see, like myself, I don't know if I'll ever turn it back on. I might just be done with it because I really don't see much of a point to play. I mean, whereas with like that initial D game, initially when I first played it, I was like, I want to play this and talk about it on the Famicast and maybe write something for NWR to let people know about it. And I ended up, you know, really, really liking it. And I didn't think that would be the case with this because I'm not like super into card games and I'm not into Yu-Gi-Oh at all. But I, you know, I at least gave it a shot. And if you're probably into Yu-Gi-Oh, this would be cool. There's another high barrier of entry here. If you have a Japanese 3DS and you can speak Japanese, give it a shot. You might like it, or you might be like me and just be incredibly bored. So I mean, like I said, visuals not bad. At least amount of like stuff to use, which is kind of surprising. I thought we might cheap out and just not put any like free stuff in there, but it's there. And yeah, but I don't know about you, Ty, but for me, it's just like the kind of like the art direction in the series, like the monsters and stuff. I just don't. At least from the lame ones that I saw in this demo, I mean, they're just not really appealing to me. They're not cool. They're just kind of lame. What do you think, man?
Well, if you want to force yourself to like Yu-Gi-Oh, I think there's two things you have to do.
Okay.
One, you get like a big stack of random-ass cards, and you play with your friend without either of you knowing the rules, and you just make it up as you go, trying to imitate the anime as best you can.
Wow, okay.
Like, just ham it up. Super dramatic reactions. You just activated my trapped card. No!
That is what they do in this game, too. Like, as soon as you get the direct hits, like, on the characters, they're like, ugh! Like, oh my god, I'm dying for real. And they're like,
right?
Jesus. You know?
Die in the card game, you die for real.
Yeah, it sounds like. They're like, It's like, oh my god, I just killed this little kid.
And the other thing you have to do is you have to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm familiar with. They did the Dragon Ball Z abridged one.
Yeah, it's a laugh riot. And I did see a little bit of the anime back in the day. Like the key point, the crowning achievement of the entire series is when some asshole guy in the anime like asks to see Yugi's cards, and Yugi's like, okay, and he like just throws them over the edge of his ship, like into the ocean. It's like, wow, are you fucking dumb, Yugi?
Apparently.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I even asked my wife, because one time it was on TV when I was at like her parents' house or something, and she's like, God, I really hate this show. It's like, I hate the characters. It's like, I just watch it and people are just screaming and I have no idea what's going on. It's kind of the same with me, but I mean, I don't just hate it because of that. I gave it a shot, and now I don't hate it, but I don't like it. So, but anyways, I think that's going to do it from me. So, Ty, how about you go ahead and finish up new business for us, buddy?
Yeah, baby. Let's see. Well, I spent last weekend not playing video games, but rather watching Evo.
Uh-huh.
May have heard of this. It's kind of a big deal.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, once again, is ballooned in size. They're like over 9,000 players among 9 different games.
Mm-hmm.
Like Street Fighter V, of course, was the big one, had over 5,000 entrants.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on ESPN.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, ESPN 2.
I saw some of your tweets about that, I think.
Yo, yeah. Like, I was retweeting all the good positive ones on my main Twitter, and I was putting all the scrub quotes on scrub quotes.
Yep.
Where's my sports mall? Fighting games are dumb, etc.
Yep.
But yeah, it was really exciting. And I watched everything as best I could, having multiple video streams up.
Jeez, hardcore, man.
Yeah. It's like every year. It's like the last scene in Watchmen where he's got like all the screens up, like, oh, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
Yeah.
So as I predicted on this very podcast, my pal Tono-sama won POKÉ, and now he has a lot of money.
Cool.
Yeah. Not as much as the guy that won Street Fighter V, but
probably not.
Good shit. It was really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like the Smash Melee finals where the noted underdog and hated by scrubs everywhere, Hungry Box, he won.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's good. I love him because he makes people mad.
Good. That's always fun.
Right? But in a good way. Like, he plays by... He does whatever he has to do to win, basically.
Yeah,
if he's going to hang on the edge for 8 straight minutes to win, he'll do it. And that's what you should do.
Yeah.
And then people get mad, and then I put those mad tweets on scrub quotes. It's a really great deal we have going here.
Yeah. Well, if they're mad about it, they just hang on the other edge for 8 minutes too. Boom.
No, you can't do that if you don't have the lead. You're gonna lose.
Oh. Never mind then.
Yeah, play to win, baby.
Okay.
Low strong Dave Serlin. I'll tell you that story sometime. And Marvel was kind of the same deal. Like, Chris G won, and he won by filling the screen with fireballs the entire time. Yeah. But he's like the only dude in the world that can do that like effectively. So that's great. Yeah. Infiltration won Street Fighter V. It's very rich now. Sleeps won Killer Instinct, and he used Gargos. He used Arbiter and Gargos, new characters that just came out. Scrubs hate Gargos because he summons minions that attack automatically, and you just pin the guy down forever, kick him until candy comes out, take his lunch money, run him out of the arcade.
Proper responses, just get good.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Alright, as for stuff I actually played, actually last night I finally got around to playing Wolfenstein.
Oh, the new one, right?
Yeah,
wow.
The new one.
The newest one.
The newest one. It's been rebooted so many times. Even though like the original famous one is like a reboot of like some simple text game or something. I don't even know. Anyway, it was fun. I was super engaged. It's got a really good story. It's got a soundtrack by Mick Gordon, and I was getting like those Doom vibes too. Although you can't play it the same way. Like in Doom, you have to run out in the open and be moving like the entire time you're playing. In Wolfenstein, you have to not get shot by Nazis. That means hiding behind cover.
Okay. Is it pretty good? Like, I mean, it's first person, right?
Yeah.
Is it pretty easy to get cover and like pop out and kill people, or is it
Yeah,
janky?
it's
Or?
not like there's like a cover system where you stick to stuff. You
Right.
just move around and shoot guys.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that'd be kind of hard to implement like a first person game, a cover system, other than
Yeah.
just doing it manually yourself.
It's been done, but it's probably never really been that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you move around, you shoot, easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
The story is really cool. It's
Mm-hmm.
dark, sci-fi. Some pretty gnarly things happen to beloved video game character BJ Blazkowicz. That's his name. That's the name of Wolfenstein guy.
Wow. Cool.
He has a name unlike Doom guy.
Yeah.
He looks a little like John Cena in this game.
Hmm.
So yeah, I recommend it. It's fun. Apparently, there's like a prequel game you could get for free if you pre-ordered Doom, and I haven't gotten around to playing that. Maybe I should have played that first.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? So that's the Shootman game I've been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm still working on getting all these Xbox games up on the board. The next one I play will be the 500th Xbox game on my profile.
Jeez.
Yeah, shit's real, dog.
Impressive. Impressive.
And so I'm going to segue into talking about Killer Instinct here, but at EVO,
Mm-hmm.
and there were a lot of new characters shown for various games,
Mm-hmm.
and like almost everyone was like a pretty girl character, just waifu bait. Guilty Gear got Dizzy, Tekken has a new girl character. Dead or Alive is getting Mai from King of Fighters as a guest character.
Okay.
That's real. And Killer Instinct just got the literal ugliest video game character of all time. Idol, the boss from Killer Instinct 1.
Okay.
And they redesigned him, so he looks like this ogre, but his head is split in half.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's cool to play
Mm-hmm.
because he plays kind of like different stances, like a different head is in control at different times, and it
Whoa.
changes all his moves.
Mm-hmm.
So he has like a warrior stance where you club guys to death with your club. That's what you do. And then he has like this meat stance where he like shoots lightning and drops meteors and shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what the game will do to you is switch you randomly.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to deal with it,
Hmm.
basically. You can try to manually switch by punching yourself in the head, which is really funny. So I'm working on playing him. He's
Mhm.
cool. And they're beta testing like a new one-player mode. Now I don't have the beta code for that yet.
Oh.
I'm trying to get one. Apparently, if you were at EVO and you went to the presentation, you could get one.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It seems like this kind of campaign sort of thing where you gather characters and you try to get abilities and try to do all sorts of stuff before the final showdown with the boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't actually played it yet, but I kind of got like XCOM vibes where you have to you play your individual battles, but you have to manage your stuff basically.
Okay. Okay.
So it sounds fun. Sounds engaging. As opposed to like a regular one-player mode where you just go through, you play the story or whatever.
Right. Right.
But that's neat. I'm looking forward to that. Please enjoy Killer Instinct, the best game ever. You can get in September they're offering a physical version that has everything on it.
Nice. Nice.
And it's only like $40, so that's a steal.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah. All right. I think that wraps it up for me.
Okay.
All sorts of weird games I still need to get into this summer, and you're gonna hear about them.
Yeah, good. Good.
Like
good,
I just
good.
bought like 2 Japanese Xbox 360 games that I didn't know existed.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Should we be horrified or what?
Just be intrigued.
Okay. Well, color me intrigued / horrified.
All right.
So, All right, well, we're going to go ahead and move on to the news. So, James, are you live? Take that as a yes.
Rest in peace.
Okay. So, did you see that Ty message from James?
I didn't.
Okay. James might not be able to join us again. So, we're just going to go ahead and kind of press on here. So, Ty, you probably saw about this last week, and we're kind of a little bit late on this, but I kind of wanted to touch on this to at least, kind of know what you think about this, man. And so, yeah, back last week, the Nintendo basically said, just kind of out of nowhere, I think it was like a Thursday, they just kind of came out and said, hey, Nintendo Entertainment System, NES Classic Edition, coming out, November 11th in North America, $60, 30 games. Plugs right into, TV via HDMI, supports 2 NES Classic controllers that can also be used, with the Wii and Wii U via the Wii Remote. The controllers themselves are going to be like $10 each. Ty, I think I already know what you're going to say about this, man, because, like, dude, okay.
Yeah.
You're probably going to say something like, hey, just get, a fucking PC and an emulator, man.
Yeah, just get, like, your 130 megahertz Pentium out of the closet, because that's going to emulate more games than this.
Right.
But, from a business perspective, it looks cool. It's basically, here's a Christmas gift. Here you go.
Yeah.
Literally everybody loves the Nintendo.
Yeah, man, and I think that's exactly the thing. I mean, yeah, obviously, if you have a PC and you can do this, yeah, it's no questions asked. You can do it for cheaper and just easy. Maybe it's a little bit easier to do.
Yeah, this is for people who don't know what emulators are.
Exactly, or maybe even like people just don't want to fuck around with that stuff, And
yeah, like I would consider like buying this as a gift, certainly.
Sure, yeah, and I mean, I think it's just as like a collectible. I think this looks kind of cool. I mean, I always come on, everybody.
Boy, here we go. How many amiibos do you have?
Well, I don't know, like less than 20, maybe around 20.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I got the Shovel Knight amiibo too, which is pretty rad. But I've been waiting to see if they're gonna have a similar announcements for Japan, but as of right now, there hasn't been anything. So sometimes like NCL is a little bit weird. Sometimes they'll wait until maybe the actual fall to announce something that's coming out in the fall. So as opposed to like talking about it months ahead of time. I mean, there's Nintendo's still pretty hot here with the stuff on 3DS and Wii U maybe not so much, but I don't really think that really matters for them. But
yeah, it doesn't strike me as a very Japanese focused product.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit too good of a bang for your buck to be in Japan for something like as low as that. But I'm still remaining hopeful because I would like to not have to worry about getting it shipped to me from America and just get it here. But at any rate, there's another kind of thought. I remember James had talked about this as well at one point. But the actual controller ports on the system itself are actually just like the cord, like the controller things that plug into the bottom of the Wii remotes, which kind of had us thinking, and I think we were chatting about this too. It's like this is probably just some kind of like a stripped down Wii. It's like repurposed into this. And
oh yeah. And once again, the Wii is basically just a repurposed GameCube processor.
Exactly.
It's probably costing Nintendo like $1 to manufacture these things.
Exactly. So like you said, from business perspective, I mean, tapping into nostalgia, it's like it's a very good idea if you want to make a lot of money. And I'm into Star Wars.
Yo, it's like coming out like 2 weeks before Black Friday. I mean, the intentions here are clear.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's a thing that people talk about in the Star Wars collecting community. It's called vintage exploitation, and I think that's exactly what this is. I mean,
yeah. I mean, they still use the Kenner branding on Star Wars toys, don't they?
Yeah. Well, they started doing it after all these guys that used to buy these toys back in the day started getting money. They just decided to start doing this again.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
So yeah, I mean, Nintendo, hey, why not? You vintage, do the vintage exploitation yourself to get the money. So
give money.
Yeah. Moving on, Sai put a couple little things in here too, and I kind of noticed this. Ty, I don't know if you did, Maybe.
Maybe not, I don't think so.
So my Nintendo, it seems like kind of like revamped the rewards page, so it's actually kind of a little bit easier to use. And it used to be like it was kind of like it seemed like the stuff was kind of put together in just like a weird hodgepodge of stuff. But now they kind of have it a little bit better. It's a little bit better sectioned off and stuff, so you can see what's available and clearly how many points this stuff is. And I've noticed that, and it's getting a little bit better, like a little bit more user friendly, which I think is pretty cool. So, Ty, do you know anything about this next part about Pokémon stuff?
A bit. So,
Wanna take that for us?
yeah, they're adding a new character.
Mm-hmm.
Just like everybody else, it's a thing to do. You just add characters.
Pokémon Tournament needs more characters, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
Darkrai.
Mm-hmm.
Too edgy.
I don't even know what that is.
Me neither. I'm guessing it's like Shadow Metal Mewtwo.
He probably
Turbo.
wears a purple bandana.
I don't know. Maybe he's cool. No judgments except for all the ones that are already made.
I know. I was just saying it because that's probably why Side might like him.
So yeah, apparently the arcade version is behind the console version as far as like characters and stages go. They're not really keeping parity there, or maybe they are, because on July 20th, which is 5 days ago, right?
Right.
They're gonna sync it up. Darkrai's added. I should just ask my pal, world champion Tono-sama, what he thinks.
He'd probably have a thing or two to say, huh?
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, I wonder if they're gonna try to keep them synced in the future. That's kind of a thing. Like, from a competitive perspective, like as soon as one falls behind, it gets ignored. It gets thrown in the trash. So, and if they're still trying to milk people with microtransactions on the arcade version, they would do well to, try to keep up with the simultaneous patches.
Right.
Best of luck to them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, my only thought about this is maybe you said the Wii U stuff was ahead of the arcade stuff, right?
Right.
And maybe it's just because there's just more people playing, so they thought it may be just better for a consumer experience to do that. I mean, but then again, they'd probably look at other factors too, like how much money are we making in the arcade, which is the scenes only, like Japan only, right? Basically.
Right.
So
yeah, sometimes with a lot of games, one will serve as like a beta for the other. So that may be a factor here. Like, you put it on one, you see how it does, you patch it. Then once you get all the bugs out, you release the final version on the other platform.
Okay.
And usually that's been arcade first, console second. Not always, but it's been a thing. Oh man, remember back in the day before you could patch things, and you released your game, and there was some broken thing in it, and the game was ruined forever?
Yep. Those are the days.
Those are the days. Oh man, Soul Calibur 3. Seen the bugs in that.
I only played that a little bit at a buddy's house. I was like, okay, this is the thing.
There's like a really fucked up thing where you could like cancel all moves recovery by holding guard and double tapping up or down.
Yeah.
And like basically characters just had infinite combos.
Well, I'm glad I never bought that game.
Yeah, it was really bad. But they released an arcade version a while after that game came out. And it fixed that. Maybe it rebalanced some stuff, but it seemed like it was dead on arrival. That the well had already been poisoned.
Yeah, damage had already been done, huh?
Yep. And that's why people still play Soul Calibur 2.
Hey, it's a very good game.
There was a side tournament at EVO for it.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Rest in peace, Soul Calibur 3, Soul Calibur 4, Soul
Calibur
Calibur 5.
He will never rise from his grave.
Good.
Moving on with the news. We'd mentioned this, I think, the last time as well. There's a Kirby Cafe here in Japan somewhere.
Ooh!
Yeah, if I had time, maybe I'd go, or money or cared.
I'd go.
Yeah. Ty's
Meta Knight would go.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure where this is. That's definitely something we should have wrote down here. But yeah, I'll be going to Tokyo probably maybe once or twice more during the summer. Maybe I'll check it out. I'm feeling adventurous.
Good shit. Maybe we should go there on my birthday.
Hey, that'd be cool. I like birthdays. Moving on here too.
Idea.
Yeah, this is something that kind of came up here just the other day. There's about 10 more Wii titles coming to the Wii U starting on July 27th. It's kind of like a campaign type of a thing that's going to be going on for 5 weeks with 2 games coming out per week. What they're doing as well for My Nintendo members, you'll be able to get a 30% off discount on these games. The games in question starting this week on the 27th is Xenoblade Chronicles, Rhythm Heaven Fever, and then the next week on August 3rd, Super Paper Mario, and then Project Zero Wii Edition, one of the Fatal Frame type of games that only came out in Europe and Japan. And after that, we have Kirby's Epic Yarn and New Super Mario Bros. Wii on August 9th, and Mario Strikers Charged and Mario Super Sluggers on August 17th. And then to finish things off, we have Wario Land Shake It and Mario Sports Mix on August 24th. Here, the regular price for Wii games on the Wii U is 2,700 yen. So with 30% off, it's going to be about 1,890 yen, about 19 bucks, something like that for these games. None of these are extremely rare or anything like that, really. I don't know, but I've always kind of wanted to play more of Wario Land Shake It because I remember watching a buddy of mine play it or something at his house. I was like, man, I mean, it looks good, like the really kind of really good, like animated type of a style for like the visuals and stuff, kind of borderline like cell shaded type of stuff. And it just looked like fun. I mean, there's some kind of like gimmicky stuff where you have to shake the Wii remote around and stuff, but you know, it looks like a pretty solid platformer. Yeah. Anyways.
If you're people just listening didn't see me make that face where Danny said you have to waggle, but it's also a solid platformer.
Yeah,
that
well,
doesn't compute.
I don't mean as like a main part of the gameplay. You're waggling to move like left or right or something like that. It's like you pick up like a box and then you like shake it.
I don't know, man. I'm still having like all these bad flashbacks to Donkey Kong where you waggled the roll.
Let's just not talk about that. So moving on here, this is kind of just a plug for the website and something that Matt Walker, former Famicast member, has been doing here for the past couple of weeks, ever since the basically the, oh my gosh, what was that? I think it was July 11th, the 1-year anniversary of Iwata passing away. Matt has been going through and translating a lot of Japan-only Iwata asks, and we're putting them up on the site. So basically, as far as we know, this is the first time that some of these things have been available in English, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff in there.
Good shit.
Really, I'll do a little bit of a kind of a sneak peek inside of one. Just so he did one. There was one on like a game seminar thing back in 2008, and they were talking about Animal Crossing because I think City Folk for the Wii was about to come out. And first, when I started reading this, thinking, oh God, they're going to talk about the Wii game. But no, they actually went back and started talking about the N64 version, which is, as many of you guys know out there, Animal Crossing originally started on the 64, and then later came to GameCube. But they were talking about when they were originally planning it, and essentially they basically said, like, yeah, this game started out basically being like a dungeon crawler type of a game. And it was just a fascinating read. And there's one up, like I said, about Animal Crossing. There's another one up about Tomodachi Life. And there's one that just went up this week about the latest Rhythm Heaven on 3DS, which is like a written interview between Iwata and the producer on the game, Sunku, I think is his name. And but it is interesting. And yeah, I think that was one of the last Iwata asks before Iwata passed. So yeah, interesting stuff there. Another thing that is gonna happen.
Can I please?
Go for it, yeah.
Live action Detective Pikachu coming to the silver screen. That means movies.
Yeah, and an interesting tidbit of information that Donald Terrio put into the NWR story is that Well, okay, he's kind of. I think he was joking, but maybe he's being kind of serious too. Looking at the World of Warcraft movie, which only earned something like 44 million here, was like in China for whatever reason. It just like people just loved it. It
Yeah.
earned like most of its money in China. So
Wouldn't be the
maybe we
first
could-
time. You
what's
know,
that?
did you know there's an Initial D live action movie?
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, I believe it was filmed in Japan, but all the cast and crew were from China or Hong Kong.
Okay.
So the whole movie's in Chinese.
Wow. Okay.
And they're all playing these Japanese people while speaking Chinese, and I guess it's because it's bigger over there than it is here.
Okay. Well, that would make sense.
And
Yeah,
is this what's going on with Detective Pikachu?
maybe. I mean, Legendary are the guys that are going to be like producing this thing, Legendary Pictures, and then in Japan, I mean, they're in charge of like the releases and stuff, I guess, in the West. But in Japan, it's like Toho or something. But yeah, it's kind of an odd thing to make a movie of, considering that the game hasn't even left Japan yet.
It got me wondering that maybe the movie was the in game all along.
It probably was. I mean, with this being out there now, there's no good reason why the game shouldn't come out in the West. And you know, I talked about the game at length a couple of months ago on the show, and I have the review up on Nintendo World Report if you guys want to check that out. So please do.
Cool.
But yeah, I guess kind of moving right along here
Oh
too.
boy!
Yeah, I just kind of.
Game.
Yeah, I saw this in passing, Ty. Like, you know, it's a new Sonic games coming to the NX as well as PS4 and Xbox One, holiday 2017. It was just basically kind of like a CG type of a trailer, and maybe like a spiritual successor to like Sonic Generations, but not like an actual sequel or something.
Wait, is this different from the other one I've seen going around,
The
where it looks like
classic-
Sonic 2 and 3? Yeah.
Yeah, this is different. This is totally different.
Okay.
I don't even know
Well-
if that one's coming to Wii U.
Are you familiar with the Sonic cycle?
Kind of, but go ahead and refresh our memory here, particularly mine.
All right. Well, you can just Google Sonic cycle.
Mhm.
It's a rather vicious thing. It's a vicious cycle, if you will. All right. I'm just gonna read it to you.
Okay.
All right. Top of the cycle. First info on a new Sonic game.
Mhm.
Hopes are raised. Looks good. Second part of the cycle. More screens and info.
Mhm.
Showing more retarded characters. Unlikable characters, same old gameplay. Part 3 of the cycle, terrible game comes out. It sucks, massive disappointment.
Mhm.
Fans proclaim they will never be fooled again. Then go to step A, new
Mhm.
Sonic game. So I mean, come on, how many times have we been burned by terrible fucking Sonic games?
Right.
It's been
You know-
like pretty much every one since, you know, the 16-bit days, really.
Right. You know, the first TGS I went to as a staffer with NWR back in 2011, I think that was when Sonic Generations, the game that I just previously mentioned, came out. And I mean, that was actually, at least from the demo I played and from what people are saying as well, it was decent. I mean, for a Sonic game, I mean, it was pretty much gold. For like a
Yeah.
regular video game, it was probably, you know, hey, not bad.
Good shit.
If they can get to that level, I would consider maybe watching a few videos of it.
Right?
and playing it at TGS or something.
Some of these Sonic games have really good soundtracks.
They do. Hey, I like it. James usually hates it if I try to put him into the podcast, though. Maybe I should just try that this time. Just put in some like Sonic Heroes or something.
Oh yeah, Team Chaotix.
Oh man. Let's see. And then the last thing we have here for the news, we have an Amiibo update coming for Animal Crossing. You know, the 3DS game, and it's going to give Amiibo support and all that type of stuff. There's really not a lot of information about that right now, but it's probably going to coincide with the the mobile game in some way or another. And the closer we get to that, the more information we'll have, and we'll talk about it then. Otherwise, I don't know, and quite frankly, I really don't care. I don't think I'm gonna. That would not be reason enough for me to go back to Animal Crossing on my 3DS. I mean, Ty, did you play Animal Crossing back on the GameCube?
Yeah, I actually played a fair amount.
Okay.
Oh man, for a game I hate, like man, I can't take it. It's a fucking chore simulator.
It is. And I mean, when the first time you play it, because it's different, and you're like, oh, this is kind of neat, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have it on, I had it on the GameCube. I got it on DS. I didn't get the Wii version because at that point I was even just like, what's the point?
It's kind of fun if you have housemates that you can like harass and send threatening letters to and that sort of stuff.
Right.
But ultimately, what I ended up doing was just playing the NES games.
Yeah.
And then I stopped doing that, and I started playing them on my PC instead. It's just
You're telling me you didn't like that D-pad on the GameCube controller? Hey, I love the GameCube controller. Don't get me wrong, but
it was so exciting at first, like when you can just go on GameFAQs and like, wow, I can just use these codes and drop Legend of Zelda and stuff like right in my game.
Yeah,
hell yeah! And then
Yeah.
you're like, wait, I can do that on my PC.
Yeah.
With the most glorious controller ever crafted.
Yes. Anyways, so I think that's going to go ahead and do it for the news. We're probably going to have, for the audio listeners out there, I'm sorry for the video guys, probably going to have some super Splat Hour stuff coming up here, talking about the last Splatfest. That'll be going in right now. But for the rest of you, let's go ahead and move on to the feedback. And I made it an effort to not screw this up today, so email us at famicast@nintendoworldreport.com or hit us up on Twitter @thefamicast, and you can have your email or comment or tweet or complaint right on the air like these guys. And wow, actually, this is one that, actually, you know what? I think for this first one, I might just save this for when James is back, because this is kind of directed at him and myself. From Hiwata via the email. Another email I got is from Nick, and I'll go ahead and kind of read this first part here. So he said, "Hey, Family Crew, since I first listened to your podcast while you're still on the RFN RSS feed, I've been a fan of hearing your thoughts and opinions fresh from Japan. Wow. Whether it was the early days when you were regularly throwing down Life in Japan segments, let us never forget those onsen stories, during the dark days when James left for school and Minoru got too busy, or now, in the time of fake or real, aka true or false, I think that you guys produce a quality podcast. Super cat drugs and all." Yay. Thank you. And actually, I talked to Nick a little bit about this next part. So he is part of a group that's going to be running this 24-hour charity live stream. It's called The Race Against Time. And this is on August 13th. And this is a day they're raising money for Alzheimer's research. And what they're going to be doing, like for this 24-hour live stream, is they're going to be going through Chrono Trigger and trying to unlock all the endings and stuff like that. And these guys did this stuff last year, and they managed to raise like over 1,500 Canadian dollars, which I'm pretty sure is more than 10 US dollars. So pretty good there. So I kind of wanted to start kind of just giving a shout out for them, for if you guys out there listening. I think this is something that you should support, and I'm going to probably try. I think I'll be around home that day. So I think I'm going to maybe try to check some of this stuff out when these guys are streaming this stuff out there. And, right now we don't have all of the details for like links and stuff like that, but they have a Facebook group page, which I'll be putting on our Twitter as a post, and then also be putting it maybe in the show notes for this podcast on Nintendo World Report, so that you can maybe check out some more information there. And then the closer we get to this event, we're going to have some more concrete information to get out there for you guys. So anyways, check out stuff on our Twitter, and check out these guys, Nick, and it's him and I think two of his other friend named Nick, so they call it the Nick's Cast. And so good stuff there, good stuff. So I don't think there's really any other feedback, Ty, unless you had something up your sleeve.
Nah, dog.
Okay. All right. So this is the point where we're actually going to go ahead and close out the show. But if you're watching the video, you should go ahead and stick around. Me and Ty might have a couple of fun things to show you. Question mark?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I have a couple of things that I bought just over the past weekend. But if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow me at DannyBiv, DANNYBIV. Ty, where can we follow you, dude?
Super Cat Drugs on Twitter.
Super Cat Drugs. And if you want to follow James, you can follow him at FamiComplicated. So, and Cyrus is at Cellsci, and I'm sure both of those guys will be back in full force next time. So, as for the regular part of the show, that's going to be it for this time. Hope you guys are enjoying your summers, and try to stay cool, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Peace out.
But for you video guys, we might have a couple of different things here. And so, Ty, I think I mentioned during the podcast, I went to the beach over this past weekend, and when I was walking drunk through the town with my wife, we came across this old, kind of game store, and it was about closing time, so we kind of went up to the door and was like, hey, you guys still running shop? I was like, I close at 8 o'clock, but come on in. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went in and I found some cool, it's some cool Famicom, Super Famicom stuff, and he had a lot of the boxes and stuff, and I was trying to get box copies of stuff, but he was an old guy and he said he didn't even know anything about video games. So he wouldn't give me any of his boxes, but I got some cool things. I got a copy of Mario Paint with the mouse and the mouse pad and
good shit.
Manual, and I also got for the Game Boy Advance, where the heck did I put? Here it is, the Mysterious Murasame Castle on Game Boy Advance, which I reviewed the game for NWR on the 3DS Virtual Console, I think, a couple years ago. Fantastic game, and it's great. And I think it's out. It's out in Europe. I know that. It might or might not be out in North America, but it's a fun game, and you really don't need to know any Japanese to play it. So, but that was kind of some of the cool stuff that I got here recently. How about you, Ty?
Let me look. Oh yeah, here we go. Check it out. Famicom with the disc system.
Oh, nice.
I have
nice
two of these.
Cool, man. How much did you get them for?
Basically nothing.
Oh, from coworkers or something? Japanese coworkers are getting rid of shit?
Someone in the same town getting rid of shit because they were moving.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a bunch of their old furniture stuff and a microwave. And then it's here's this giant ass thing full of Famicom games and a couple of Famicoms.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing. A lot of Japanese people, they'll just I have this old Famicom or this old thing. I mean, I guess people maybe do this in the States too, but I don't know. I've come across it a couple times. I was trying to. This one guy I work with, the same guy that had the level whatever, how many Pokemon and Pokemon Go. He was like, yeah, dude, I love Nintendo. I have a box, a Famicom, a box full of games and stuff. I thought about just being dude, I'll buy them off you, or you can just give them to me for free.
Yo, there are a lot of games, Famicom games, that are worth bank if you find them.
Oh yeah.
Battletoads cartridge only, that'll get you more than $100.
Oh.
Bubble Bobble 2, I saw that in a store for 4 mon. That's $400.
Yeah. Then there's sometimes the weird Western releases. I saw some of the WWF wrestling games on Super Nintendo, WWF Raw.
Yeah, if you
Super
find
Famicom
the Japanese versions of those.
Yeah, it's wow. Yeah, it's so much money. And you're okay.
Judge Dredd for Sega Genesis. Wow.
Yeah, it's I just don't.
It's hardcore Westaboo stuff.
Yeah, it basically.
Yeah, I think that and Maximum Carnage.
Ah, yeah.
Some other ones.
Yeah.
I would love to get the version of Doom that says 3D Alien Busters on it.
I could have swore I was I looking for that on Amazon Japan? I could have swore I found it somewhere. Hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. If I could find it for a semi-reasonable price, that might be your birthday present from Danny.
Oh shit, that would be amazing.
Yeah. No promises here, man, but
all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Good shit.
Peace.